Hello people, in this video let us look at this book Review of Ophthalmology by A.K. Khurana. This is basically a free companion with this comprehensive ophthalmology. So let us look at this review of ophthalmology, how it may help. Let's get in. This book seems to have about 200 pages. Yeah, 200 pages around. And the original book, the comprehensive one, is having about 640 pages, you can see, right? Basically, if we look at this book, have any images basically. That's what is condensed. Anyways, let's look at this. Anatomy and physiology of eye. What are they talking about here? Segment, anterior chamber. This is more like a lot of points, right? And what is this? Physiology. Before this, in anatomy itself, it ends with MCQs. Let's see this MCQs. The volume of the orbit is about. Okay. What do you think the answer is? I would say 30 cc. Let's see. 50. For 50, the answer is A. So what did we mark? Yes. So volume of the orbit is about 30 cc. So the physiology chapter also, they are giving you some quick text review and then they are giving you some MCQs. That's nice. So you can quickly revise for your PG entrance also, looks like. This is the cornea chapter, diseases of cornea. Here they are talking about types of dystrophy. Lattice dystrophy, granular dystrophy. We are here. See? Granular dystrophy. Some combination of lattice and granular, which is called as Vellino or Vellino. Macular dystrophy, Snyder's crystalline dystrophy, gelatinous drop-like dystrophy. So many dystrophies of cornea looks like. Substance which is deposited, amyloid, hyaline, mucopolysaccharides, phospholipids, amyloid. What test will you do here? For amyloid, obviously it will be Congo red, right? For here also amyloid, Congo red. Here amyloid again, so Congo red. And for hyaline, it is Mason's something. Trichrome, Mason's trichrome. So then diseases of sclera, again quick text review. Blue sclera, staphyloma. What is staphyloma, guys? It is referring to the bulging of the ecstatic, is it? Ecstatic cicatricial outer coat of the eyeball lined by uveal tissue. So it's the bulging of that. How many types of staphylomas do you know? Anterior, intercalary. Intercalary is where? With the root of the iris, right? Ciliary staphyloma. Okay. Posterior to limbus. Equatorial, posterior staphyloma. Did I read posterior already somewhere? Okay, this was posterior to limbus. Okay, that's it. So how many staphylomas do you know, guys? Anterior, posterior, equatorial, intercalary, ciliary. Randomly choose any question here. Most common cause of posterior staphyloma. What do you think the answer is? Posterior. Trauma, glaucoma, myopia, scleritis. What do you think the answer is for 12? For 12, the answer is C. So, the most common cause of posterior staphyloma is myopia. So, I should be having this because I have myopia. Posterior staphyloma. This book just doesn't listen to me. It keeps flipping its pages on its own. Okay, let's just go to a random thing here. All of the following take part in the pathogenesis of macular edema and diabetic retinopathy except. So you have to rule out some things. Retinal pigment epithelium dysfunction, oxidative stress. I like this oxidative stress. Increased protein kinase VEGF. What do you think, guys? This is diabetic retinopathy they are saying, and macular edema is happening. All of the following take part in the pathogenesis of this macular edema except. Question number 70. Let's look at the answer here. A. So they are saying this retinal pigment epithelium dysfunction doesn't take, it's not taking part in all this. Okay, so oxidative stress will be there, VEGF will be there. I think VEGF only will lead to neovascularization, right? And increased protein kinase also will take part in the macular edema and diabetic retinopathy. I think this book is kind of nice, but it's more like MCQs. What do you say? They should have called it a review and MCQ book. Lasers and cryotherapy in ophthalmology, quick text review. So they are reviewing, they're giving you all the lasers here, argon, krypton, so and so, wavelengths of those, and where will you use them. So diabetic retinopathy, you will use argon. Okay. Do you want to take an MCQ, guys? What do you say? Or shall we just turn the pages? Argon laser is used in all in except. So where and all use? Argon laser just now we saw. Wait, let's read this. Argon laser, it is used in diabetic retinopathy, they are saying. But they're asking except question. That means that it must be used in many more conditions, which they didn't give here. Argon laser is used in all except. Question number 9, answer is B. So argon laser is used in all except retinitis pigmentosa. That means you're not using it in retinitis pigmentosa. You will use it in retinal detachment, retinal vein occlusion, and Ailes disease. That will be a negative point in this book. Why they didn't write that here? That why they're using argon? Then how will I know? Here they said only diabetic retinopathy. That's not good. Anyways, systemic and community ophthalmology. Let's look at this. Adverse ocular effects of common systemic drugs. So digitalis, what will digitalis do? It will cause disturbance of color vision, scotomas. What will quinidine do? Optic neuritis, which is rare relief. Thiazides can cause xanthopsia, yellow vision. So you take thiazides and you will see yellow vision. Okay, myopia it can cause. Then so many nice. Now I like this. Adverse ocular effects of common systemic drugs. So CVS drugs. Then GIT drugs. You will take anticholinergic agents. Then you can have what? Risk of angle closure glaucoma. Okay. What is this? CNS drugs. If you take barbiturates, what will happen? Extraocular muscle palsies. Okay. Look at this one, guys. If female sex hormones, they can have retinal artery thrombosis, vein thrombosis, papilledema. So are they referring to OCP pills here by any chance? Retinal vasculitis, neuritis, atrophy, nystagmus, scotoma, migraine, mydriasis, cycloplegia, macular edema. It can cause so many things, is it? Okay. Steroids, you know, what are the side effects of steroids? Cataract, glaucoma, that is steroid-induced glaucoma. Steroid-induced glaucoma because of corticosteroids. Then you have local immune suppression, which can cause susceptibility to other infections. So you should not, when there is an infection, if you give this, then that's it. The bacteria and the virus and the fungus will become more happy. They can grow. Okay. Guys, we are almost at the end of this book, Review of Ophthalmology by A.K. Khurana. This is actually a companion with the comprehensive one. Let's eat one MCQ in this eyelids chapter. Just randomly we'll choose one. Which one? Sling surgery should be avoided in case of ptosis with very poor levator action, poor Bell's phenomena, weak Muller's muscle, multiple failed surgeries. See, what is that? Let's see. What is the question number? 22. 22. What's the answer? B. Yeah, it's that poor Bell's phenomena. If people have poor Bell's phenomena, then sling surgery should be avoided. Okay. So to know what Bell's phenomena is, you will have to come to the comprehensive book and search for images. Up and out rolling of the eyeball during forceful closure. So you ask the eyes to close, right? The eyeball will go up. Okay. So you'll see more like a white kind of thing. You won't see the cornea because the cornea would have gone up. The eyeball has gone up. Up and out rolling of the eyeball during forceful closure. So if this is there, then they don't want to do the sling surgery, looks like. So you have to come to the comprehensive book for the details. So where were we here? So sling surgery should be avoided in case of ptosis with poor Bell's phenomenon. Poor Bell's phenomena means what? Okay. So we need to look more into that. Now diseases of lacrimal apparatus. Let's look at this. What is this? Benign mixed tumor. It is also known as pleomorphic adenoma and occurs predominantly. So we're talking about lacrimal apparatus, right? And there also there are tumors, is it? Oh, okay. Choose one question and we'll look at it. Most common site of congenital blockage in nasolacrimal ductus. Congenital blockage means what? Where will it be? What do you think? Most common site of congenital blockage in the nasolacrimal duct. I feel it's in the lower end. What do you think? Somehow I feel it's that valve or something. Where is the answer? C. Oh, it is not what I said. C only, right? Yeah. C. What is C? Yeah, I said lower end. So that's correct. Yes, at the lower end. So that is the place of the most common site of congenital blockage in the nasolacrimal duct. Yes. Ocular injuries, what is the quick review they want to give here? Mechanical injuries, closed globe, globe, extraocular foreign bodies, closed globe trauma, open globe trauma. What are they telling here? Penetrating and perforating injuries. Then sympathetic ophthalmitis, okay. I would suggest you read all this from the comprehensive book only and keep the comprehensive book handy and come here only for the MCQs and then again mark back the answers in your comprehensive book. What do you say? Right? Take one question here and we will see. After blood staining, the cornea may look as reddish brown in color, greenish, like a clear lens dislocated into the anterior chamber. Any of the above. Any of the above. So it can become reddish brown or green or it looks like a clear lens that is dislocated into anterior chamber. It would be nice if they had given an image here. But anyways, this is an MCQ book mostly. Back in with the comprehensive book, here they have shown a photo blood staining of cornea. Are you able to see clearly? Blood staining of cornea. It's looking reddish brown or what? For me, it's looking orange, but not at all green. What have they explained about this? The comprehensive book says blood staining of cornea may occur occasionally from the associated hyphema and raised intraocular pressure. Cornea becomes reddish brown, okay, or greenish in color, and in later stages simulates dislocation of the clear lens into the anterior chamber. It clears very slowly from the periphery towards the center. The whole process may take more than 2 years. Okay, did you get it, guys? So all the three things are, so any of the above was the answer. So did you get it? Without the comprehensive book, it is not possible to answer these MCQs. So better read the MCQs, read the comprehensive book and then just use this book for MCQs, okay? So we are done kind of a thing with this book. All are seen in albinism except, okay, 3 things are there in this albinism guy, but one won't be there. Do you think that guy will have glaucoma? Let's see, 40. 40 is B. They won't have glaucoma, see? I kind of guessed it right because I feel everything is less in them. Why intraocular pressure will become more in them? So they'll have nystagmus, photophobia, refractive error, but they won't have glaucoma. Okay. Your favorite community ophthalmology, guys. All the NPCB and VI, National Program for Control of Blindness and Visual Impairment. Categories of vision impairment. What is this? Categories and percentage of visual disability. Practical ophthalmology. In this directly what they have? Quick text review. Common ocular symptoms. Okay. Sudden painless loss of vision. Sudden painless defective vision. Okay. Defective will be what? Sudden painless defective vision. Optic neuritis. So it's not loss of vision, it's more like a defective vision. Okay. Fine. What is there here? Salt and pepper appearance of fundus. Oh, in all these cases is there, is it? I knew it is there in rubella. Prenatal rubella. So rubella means obviously mumps, varicella, all this you will include. Measles is not there here. Influenza they are including, and congenital syphilis. Okay. Last one question let's look at from this book. The wave in ERG is due to activity of A wave. I think A wave in ERG is due to the activity of, I think A is something that comes very initially. So it should be what? Pigmented epithelium, rods and cones, ganglion, bipolar cells. Which one of these comes first? Electroretinogram, that is ERG. If you need to know, you have to again come to the comprehensive book, right? Obviously. And here they are showing you the technique of electroretinogram, how they are recording. So they are putting some electrodes here. Right electrode, left electrode, ground electrode. Okay. Here the components of normal electroretinogram they have given A, B, C. A, what are they telling? A. Here they are saying A wave, it is a negative wave possibly arising from the rods and cones photoreceptors. B wave, Muller cells. C wave, am I telling something wrong? No, that was perfect. A wave in ERG is due to the activity of rods and cones. Yes, this one, rods and cones. This is correct, okay? Rods and cones, bipolar cells, ganglion cells. This is the light, path of light. And behind you have the pigmented epithelium. So it is because of the rods and cones that you have the A wave in the ERG. They are saying it's a negative wave, right? So let's close this book, guys. This is Review of Ophthalmology by A.K. Khurana. This is coming as a companion with this comprehensive book, okay? So hope you have understood that this Review of Ophthalmology book just has MCQs. And if you want to answer it has some quick review also, small points, but not answers to all the MCQs that you will find. For the MCQs you need answers, you have to go to the comprehensive book, okay? That's all for now in this video on Review of Ophthalmology by A.K. Khurana. It's a free companion with a comprehensive book. That's all for now, guys. Bye bye.